بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. We stopped at hadith number 65 in the book of Adabul Mufrad by Imam Bukhari rahimahullah. Which is about joining the relationship. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu says, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, Inna ar-rahima shujnatun min ar-Rahman. Rahim is driven from Rahman, which means, in the hadith, we had similar type of hadith earlier, that the word Rahman is the root for Rahim also. So they both are from the same root word. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is Rahman, the most merciful one, and Rahim is also driven from there. So it has a strong connection with Rahman subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, therefore, on the day of Qiyamah, this Rahim will have a very close connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and will go to Allah and will complain, Ya Rabbi, inni zulimtu. Oh my Lord, I was wronged, I was oppressed. Ya Rabbi, inni quti'tu. Oh my Lord, I was cut off. Ya Rabbi, inni. It will keep on complaining. Ya Rabb, people did this to me, people did this to me. Whatever abuse was done to the rahim, to the joining of the relationship, it will complain about it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to it, أَلَا تَرْضَيْنَ أَنْ أَقْطَعَ مَنْ قَطَعَكِ وَأَصِلَ مَنْ وَصَلَكِ. Wouldn't you be pleased to know that I will cut off the one who would cut you off, and I will maintain the connection with those who were maintaining the connection with you, which means those who are joining the relation, I will join with them, and those who are cutting it off, I will cut it off with them. The hadith ends over here, but we had the same hadith earlier in which the Rahim at the end said, Bala, yes, Ya Rab, I am pleased and happy to hear this. In another hadith, narrated by Sayyidina Abdullah, again by Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, Sa'id ibn Sam'an says, I heard Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu seeking Allah's protection min imarati as-subyani was-sufaha, from the leadership of children and fools. So Sa'id ibn Sam'an said, at that time I just heard this from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, I didn't question him. Later on, I was talking to Ibn Hasana al-Juhani, and at that time we discussed what could be the reason behind it. So Ibn Hasana said to me that I asked Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, Ma ayatu dhalik, what will be the sign of that? Simply means, what are the consequences of children and fools getting into the position of leadership? So Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu said, An tuqta al-arham. Sign and the consequences would be that the relations will be cut off. Number two, وَيُطَاعَ الْمُغْوِي, and people who mislead others will be obeyed. وَيُعْصَى الْمُرْشِدِ, and people who guide people to the right direction and the right path, they will be disobeyed. So Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu mentioned 3 signs of the leadership of either children or people who are not children. They are grown-up people, but they are fools, which means they have no understanding of the deen. Now, these 2 people, 2 categories of people that Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was seeking Allah's protection from having to see them becoming the leaders. Children, which means people who are immature age-wise, and fools, which means people who are immature according to their understanding, their brain. So people who are immature. Now imagine when you put both of these together, that young people who have no understanding. Once you put both of these together, it will be fully destruction. He's seeking Allah's protection from seeing one of these 2 becoming a leader. Either children are becoming leaders, and they're trying to hold the high positions. And we see what happens when people who are not mature enough, they get into the position just because they inherited. They start doing things that any person with right understanding would see that this is going in a wrong direction now. It's going towards destruction now. But this person himself cannot see it, cannot understand it. His position overtakes him, overtakes his understanding, overtakes his brain, does not allow him to see things right, does not allow him to think right. This happens all the time, that a person who has something that he's proud of, that thing stops the person from behaving right, from thinking right. Someone who's very, very strong, he went to the gym and he learned some type of self-defense things and became very strong physically. Now, if he joins any gangsters, this person, his power, his strength, most of the time will prevent him from using his brain the right direction. Will be hurting others, will be just challenging people for nothing, will just keep on doing wrong. Something that even a normal person looking at him will know that what is he doing? Why is he getting into this? Why is he getting involved with this? But there is something that he has that is covering up his brain, covering up his mind. And in this case, maybe his physical strength. Some other people have some other type of strength, which means a person who has a position, someone who is wealthy. Something like this that will make the person be proud of some of the abilities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted him or her, and therefore this person would like to be seen with those powers and recognized with these powers. Okay, people will see me that I'm strong. People will see that I have my word, that I can say something and everyone will have to listen and people will have to obey. It's a position. So regardless of the age, remember this, regardless of the age, people who got some of these blessings and they don't have the right understanding, they will misuse these blessings. They will misuse the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or children who have access to things that they don't know how to deal with, and they are above their capacity, which means just imagine parents giving their children the credit card, buy whatever you want, use it however you like, get whatever you want for yourself, for your friends. Imagine how spoiled those children would be. So giving people things before they are mature enough to handle it, You give a gun to a person who's totally immature. We all know what's going to happen. What do we think? Guns are more destructive or wealth when it comes to in the hands of people that are not mature enough? What is more destructive? Is it the weapon or a position that a person may hold in which with a weapon you may be able to hurt few people that are in front of you, but when you're holding a position, your statement and your decision could affect so many thousands of people in the world. So there are things that could be more destructive, but we don't pay attention to it. And people who are not mature enough to handle these things are given these things. And therefore, we see all the corruption there. So this is exactly what Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was informing. Of course, knowing something like this has to be based on something he heard it from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's seeking Allah's protection from having the leadership positions, any of these type of blessings given to people that are not mature enough to handle it, either because they are too young or mentally they are not stable and strong enough to handle it. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about the signs of Qiyamah, what does Qiyamah mean? Qiyamah means the day of destruction. The day when everything will come to an end. See, all the things that people are building in the world, regardless of how many billions and billions of dollars are being spent, a day would come when everything will come down to the ground. Regardless of what building that is. If it is a normal house, or it is a high-rise building, or it is a bank, or it is the Parliament House, it could be anything. Everything will come down to the ground. Today, if one building will come down, we see the loss was of these many hundreds of thousands. Imagine when the whole world will come down. So it's the day of destruction. And destruction will have to come at a time when people who are not worthy of these blessings, so Allah will finish it. Will take all of this away. To the extent even the sun, moon, stars, the heaven, the skies, everything will be taken away. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about that destruction and that end of everything, Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in asked, Ya Rasulullah, what will be the sign of that? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِذَا وُسِّدَ الْأَمْرُ إِلَى غَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ فَانْتَظِرِ السَّاعَةِ. When matters are handed to people who are not worthy of it, who are not reliable, who are not mature enough to handle it, then wait for the Qiyamah, which means wait for the destruction. Everything will come to an end. Everything will be destroyed. When people who cannot handle these positions will be given those positions, just wait for destruction. They will finish everything. They will destroy everything. And here Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu pointed out two things that will be a sign of being immature. Either the person age-wise, we see that the person age-wise is not really of that position. There are people that are wise enough, that are grown-up people. They, because of their age, they have experience. But positions are given to those who are totally unexperienced. That's number one. The second thing Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu mentions here is people who are not mature enough. They may be grown-up people. Age-wise, they are up there. But because of their knowledge, their experience, their backgrounds, they are not mature enough to handle the situation. And now they are given the positions of handling the situations, of making decisions on behalf of the whole, not just a community. In many times, on behalf of the society, on behalf of the country, on behalf of the world. If that type of person is given the position, even in a small family, he will destroy the family. Let alone this person is deciding for the whole community. And for every field, you need people that are experts in that field to handle it. A person who is a businessman, if you take that person and make him imam in the masjid, make him the leader, religious leader for that denomination, for the people of the followers of that religion, of course, he would be only thinking about business and money. And this is what we see most of the time with masajid also. People who are running the masajid, before they would think about establishing the masjid and ibadah, they are thinking about financial situation of the organization. That's all they're thinking about. Because everyone in the business. These are not religious people. Same thing now, you take the religious person and give him a position of being the minister of finance in the country, and this is a person who never studied that field, doesn't have no experience in the field. Of course, he won't be able to run that field and that sector of the country, and that will come to a destruction too. So we need to find the right people for every position, especially when it comes to our deen, our religion. Most of the time people don't look at people who have any background religiously. We just look at people who may be strong financially, strong from the worldly point of view. And now these people will be deciding for our deen. So whenever these people, they find benefit, financial benefit, or social benefit, or political benefit of the society in doing something that is against religion, they will just go that direction. Because that is their expertise. And this is what they are expert about, this is what they know, that's the field that they have always worked in. So very important, finding the right people for the right field. The next chapter is about عقوبة قاطع الرحم في الدنيا. The punishment, in fact, before I go to that chapter, in that hadith of Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, the previous hadith, Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu mentioned 3 signs, which means 3 things that are going to happen when positions are given to the wrong people. Number 1, tuqta al-arham, that relations will be severed and no more people will not care about relations anymore. Number 2, yuta' al-mughwi, people who mislead others will be obeyed. Every person that is taking away from deen, that will introduce wrong things into deen, will be obeyed. And وَيُعْصَى الْمُرْشِدِ, people who are murshid, which means they guide people through the right direction, they will be disobeyed. No one would care about them. In fact, there is a hadith in Al-Bayhaqi. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een that you are living at a time, he's talking about his time, you are living at a time that when you look at any tribe, any clan, most of the people are educated about deen now. And they all have good, solid information about deen. Except إِلَّا الْفَاسِقُ وَالْفَاسِقَانِ, except 1 or 2 people that are fasiq, which means very publicly known evil people. They are the only ones who don't learn deen. During your time, he's telling the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim. He said, a time will come when it will be just totally the opposite. That the whole tribe, the whole clan, and you would see the whole community, most of the people are uneducated except 1 or 2 people who are learned and they know about their deen. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, during those days, those 1 or 2 people that are learned, they will be totally disrespected and they will be looked down at. In fact, people would not even want to talk to them. There's something that Prophet ﷺ already mentioned it, already told us about it. It's going to happen. He said, rest of the people, they will not even care about those one or two people that are learning about deen because they don't care about their deen. So this is what Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said. This will happen when leadership is in a wrong hand, that people will go towards all the evils, but people who are guiding people to the right path, to the deen, to the Qur'an, to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no one would listen to them, no one would care about them. The next chapter is about عقوبة قاطع الرحم في الدنيا, the punishment for breaking the relation in this dunya. Of course, generally the punishment of sins will be seen in the hereafter. But in this hadith, which is narrated by Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما من ذنب أحرى أن يعجل الله لصاحبه العقوبة في الدنيا مع ما يدخر له في الآخرة من قطيعة الرحم والبغي. He said, there is no wrong action which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for which Allah is swifter in punishing the person in this world before, in addition to the punishment of the hereafter, before this person will go through the punishment in the hereafter, which means that punishment is there. But before that, very quickly he will get the effect of his sin in this dunya, and he will be punished in this dunya. He said there is no sin that will put the person in that position more than two sins. Number one is breaking the relations. Number two, injustice. Zulm, doing wrong to others. Then when a person does these two things, one of these two things, he will see the consequences and the result of it in this dunya also before he would see it in the akhirah. The punishment of akhirah is always there. One is breaking the relations, and number two, baghi, doing wrong to others, doing zulm to others. Doing zulm to others, always remember one thing. It will always take away the peace of mind from the person. A person who's doing wrong to others will lose his peace of mind, regardless of what that person has, how powerful this person is, how strong this person is. This person will lose his peace of mind. A person who has taken a dry piece of bread from the hand of a poor person, and now this person is in his castle, he is the king, he is the ruler, he is going to lose his peace of mind in his castle because of what he has done to that poor person. Although that poor person has no one to complain to, no one to talk to, no one that he can go back and ask for help, but this person who have wronged that poor person will lose his peace of mind. It's guaranteed. It is something that is guaranteed. You do wrong to someone, you're going to lose your peace of mind. So if a person really wants to have peaceful life, the first step towards that is don't hurt people. Don't do zulm on others. Don't wrong people. Not only human beings, even animals. This could be a very long topic, but inshallah we'll talk about it once we will get to that chapter. But I just wanted to point this out as this is part of this hadith. So for these two sins, Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu is telling us, a person will get the punishment in this dunya before being punished in the hereafter. Next chapter, a very important chapter about correcting our understanding of what is joining the relationship. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu narrates, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لَيْسَ الْوَاصِلُ بِالْمُكَافِئِ وَلَكِنَّ الْوَاصِلُ الَّذِي إِذَا قُطِعَتْ رَحِمُهُ وَصَلَهَا. A person who treats people according to how they treat him. he is being fair to them based on how they are treating him, that person is not the one who is considered to be the one who joins the relationship. وَلَكِنَّ الْوَاصِلِ الَّذِي إِذَا قُطِعَتْ رَحِمُهُ وَصَلَهَا. The one who joins the relationship is the one that when people are breaking the connection with him, he keeps on joining it. So people who are treating you fairly, in a good way, in a good manner, and you be kind to them, you smile to them, you treat them in a good way, and then we feel, alhamdulillah, I have good relation with all of these people. This is not considered joining the relationship what Allah is ordering us in Qur'an and Prophet ﷺ is ordering us in the Hadith. You are just repaying for what they are doing to you. You are just being just towards those people. This is justice. This is not joining the relationship. Joining the relationship is when people will break the relation with you. When people are hurting you, you keep on joining the relationship. This is called joining the relationship. الَّذِي إِذَا قُطِعَتْ رَحِمُهُ وَصَلَهُ. When people are breaking it, he keeps on joining it. People stop saying salam to him, he goes and he says salam to them. Now you are joining the relation. Whether that person responds to your salam or he doesn't, that is not your problem. But for us to go and say salam to him, you have joined the relation. You got the reward of joining the relationship. If he doesn't respond to the salam or she doesn't respond to the salam, then that person is getting the sin for breaking it, for not responding to the salam, for not fulfilling their obligation. But at least joining the relationship is when others are cutting it, you will keep on joining it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to follow these beautiful teachings and beautiful instructions. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always keep us on the true akhlaq of the Nabuwah. These akhlaq, these teachings, that beautiful teachings of building the personality, building the society, building our iman and taqwa, and how to live in this world, in a time and in a situation where there is fitna all around. How should we behave according to our deen, according to the teachings of our deen? This is exactly what we learn from these beautiful hadiths of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to live up to this and to adopt these in our lives. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين. مولاي صل وسلم